My name is Rita Hukayam. It's a big pleasure of mine to be here to be presenting at Dhaka Flow. I will be the moderator for today's session, which is on fitness secrets. The way it's going to happen is I'm going to introduce our fellow speakers, our inspiring fellow speakers, and afterwards I'm going to be asking them questions. The purpose is to make it engaging, interactive, so please also feel free to ask questions at the end. Unless if you have a very burning question, then you can interject, but we'll leave the questions to the end. And again, the purpose of this session is to share secrets about living a fit life. So, like I said, my name is Rita, and I'm going to give you a bit of an idea about my journey and what got me to where I am today on my fitness journey. So, I'm from Canada. I was born and raised in Canada. And for me, fitness was never really that incorporated into my life. I was really good at my books. I was always the one that all my friends wanted to be working with for projects, but when it came to sports, no one wanted me on their team. No one wanted it to be. I was always picked last. I was pretty chunky as a young girl, and I wasn't at basketball, but I was also a bench warmer. I don't know if you know what that is. So I would make the teams, but I wouldn't actually play because I was just awful. And then fast forward to when I was about 18 years old, my mother signed me up into my first pageant. So I've done a lot of pageantry. They're beauty competitions, and I had the pleasure to compete in Miss Universe Canada, Miss Earth International, and so many other ones around the world. And when you're competing in pageantry, you really have to discover the world of fitness. You really have to learn how to be in tune with your body, how to be healthy, how to be strong. So I had to really learn about this world of fitness. And from then on, I fell in love with fitness, and I realized that every single person that is capable of breathing and moving should be living a life of fitness. So I'm gonna now move it to our speakers, and they're very inspiring ones, and I'm actually really honored to be able to share the floor with you three. So I'm going to first start by introducing Ruslan. Ruslan, right here, this gentleman. He is an international athlete. You'll tell us what that means afterwards. A fitness coach, a nutrition expert, and the founder of Ruslan Studio, which is a gym. He has 2 locations, one in Banani and one in Danmondi. And you don't have to look like this to join his gym. The goal would be maybe hopefully to look like this at some point, but it's for everyone, and he'll talk about that afterwards. The second person I'd like to introduce is this inspiring lady, Miss Nazia Hassan, a woman of many talents as well. She is a certified personal trainer, a fitness trainer, a group training expert, and is also the owner and founder of Naz.fit, which is a well-being platform for everyone, and she'll also tell us more about that. And last but not least, we have Mr. Mohammed Shamsu Zaman Arafat. So another talented person, triathlete. He's ran over the country 1,000 kilometers, okay, from Teknaf to Tetulia, no big deal. He has swum 16 kilometers over Bay of Bengal, okay, 9 times, not just once. He was like, this was not fun. Again, I want to keep doing it. So he did it 9 times to reach St. Martin's. He's also the first Bangladeshi to qualify and finish Ironman World Championship 7 times? 70.3, which is a high score. And he's done 5 times Ironman 70.3 finisher, yes. And in the day, when he's not so busy, he works at a bank in the day as a deputy director at the Bangladesh Bank. So many talents. So we're gonna start. I want to start with a quick icebreaker, just a few seconds, because I want to see what the audience is like. When you hear the word fitness, just shout out the word. What do you think of when you hear the word fitness? I may be looking at you, Liz, if you want to interject. When you hear fitness, what do you think of? Fit, healthy, difficult. What do you think? What do you guys think of the word fitness when you think of?
I think of it as a lifestyle. Okay. Yeah. Definitely.
Same way, it's a lifestyle. It's a way of life, absolutely. It's a way of life. Right. Actually, not rough. It's just a way of life that's going to make your life much easier, no matter which profession you're from. Once you're fit, you don't have to be an athlete or you don't have to be a competitive sports person. It can also help in your regular activity as well as your work life. Even if you're a corporate person, it's going to help you. So it has to be a way of life.
I mean, look at Arafat. He works in a bank during the day,
So fitness means to me freedom. Like whatever I want to do, I just want to do. I don't have any obstacle. I have to. I don't have any tension inside my head. So আমার কাছে মনে হয় যে ফিটনেস করার জন্য আমি যে কোনো কাজ করার জন্য রেডি থাকা এটা আমার কাছে ফিটনেস ওকে
Thank you. So from what he said, yeah, it's a lifestyle, it's freedom, it's being able to do things that you probably couldn't be doing when you're not as healthy. A lot of the times, when we don't take care of our health, we're unable to wake up early. We're unable to be doing things that should be easily done. So it's something that we're going to keep talking about in the next few minutes. So I'm going to start with the first question. I think it's always interesting to know where the person's fitness journey started. Because you always think that a person probably was born like these fellow fit people and then they became fit suddenly. God took their time, God took his time on our fellow speakers and then voila. That's not how it is. So I think it would be really interesting to know your journey, to know how did you start. I'm going to give you about 2 minutes each, but if you can let them know because it'll be inspiring for others to see where you started and how you ended up where you are. And we'll go from there. So I'm going to start with you, Raslan.
Thank you so much. I'll be like, I'll try to make it short. So back in 2005, actually my journey started. Actually, I joined the gym back then. But before that, I was around probably 18 years old and I was not the fittest of person. I wasn't, not at all. And nothing like this. And also like, there were a few other things that triggered like why I need to be fit. Because it's mostly to do with my appearance, the way I appeared. I had a lot of close friends back then, but I was being bullied indirectly because the way I appeared in front of them, they used to make fun of me. Not in front of me, but maybe behind me, and I was getting it. And I was not really happy about it because I was being aware. And I wanted to do something about it. And also the lifestyle that I had wasn't the healthiest. You see, like, back then, like, the teenage time that we were going through, we did a lot of crazy stuff back in that time. Was becoming unfit, we were smoking cigarettes and whatnot. It was completely unhealthy, right? So one day I was coming up the stairs and I was completely out of breath after like, climbing three floors, right? And my mom asked, your fitness is worse than me. My fitness is even better than you. So that I got a reality check, like, I need to do something about it, right? She got me a reality check, to be honest, like, and she was right. And I was like telling myself, okay, this can be happening to me. I was just 17 years old. So I joined the gym and what happened is that the day one I went to the gym, I saw some changes. It's not like my body changed. I saw a bit of pump. Mentally, as well as I could see some pump, like muscle is like coming up, maybe some traps are coming up slight. And that really motivated me, day one. And I always had a goal that I want to have a lean body, or maybe I'm gonna be shredded, I'm gonna have a six-pack. That was my goal. And luckily there was a competition in 4 months' time. And suddenly one of my trainers gave my name there. So you see, you gotta get there being completely out of shape, being fat. In 3 months' time, you gotta be there. So I had to figure out, just working out itself wouldn't gonna help me like, achieve what I have to. Because I was training really hard, but I was not seeing the result that I wanted to. So I figured out the harder way that nutrition needs to be on point. So the day I could figure it out, like, how I can customize my diet, that did the magic, right? In 3 months' time, I could get into that competition. I probably finished fourth in that competition. It was way like, definitely I was not completely in shape, but it was major changes. After this, like, there was another competition for 1 year in the same gym. And I was like, okay, this competition I got to win. I didn't have the best of genetics. There were other guys who were better than me, but I really worked hard. Hello? Oh, yeah. Probably I was like, doing cardio for 7-8 hours probably per day. Because 7 to 8 hours per day. Probably I'll be eating, I'll be going to the gym 2 times, and the rest of the time in my house, I'll be on the elliptical or on my cycle. Probably I'll be eating there as well. Because I really had to get shredded. That wasn't the right way, but I had to do something because I had a lot of fat in my body, which I needed to get rid of in order to like, achieve that body. So after 1 year time, there was this competition and I actually won that. So that actually motivated me and like, also allowed me to go towards the sports of bodybuilding. So till then, I still didn't start training people, but that was the thing. Like, I started competing in the nationals. So my first competition in the national was back in 2007. I ended up in top 10. The first competition, it was in junior Mr. Bangladesh competition. And the journey started from there. You know, I was competing here and there. So like by doing this, I always knew, like, you know, the sport that I'm pursuing, it's not that popular in Bangladesh, and you need a lot of sponsors to like, you know, pursue this profession. But what happened is, like, that actually triggered me. I gotta be my own sponsor, since you didn't have a lot of sponsors out there. So hence the plan of, like, you know, having my own setup, because I was training one or two friends back then in Sports Zone, right, in that gym. So, and they got significant results. So that motivated me. I was talking with my father, like, you know, can I use a small room in my house? Like, it's not being used in the house, it's just there. So I set it up, a small setup meant to train one person, and I named it Ruslan Studio because it was not a big gym, it's a very small gym. Small, yeah, so that's why the studio name came in. Like, you know, a lot of people is gonna say, like, you know, why is it called studio? It's not a photography studio, it's not a musical studio, or it's nothing like that, but why do you name it? Since it was a small setup for one person, and the name started. It was back in 2009. So my journey started like, as a fitness coach. It was back in 2009, and Ruslan Studio was formed, and from there I was lucky to have, like, a lot of good students who really motivated me as well, because I was seeing results in them. Then that what got me the confidence to go bigger. So I got I moved to a new location. It was around 3,000 square feet. That was also in the same area, and the response was really good. So I had to stay there for another 2 years, and had to be a bit bigger as well. So I moved to a commercial location after that. It was a big gamble because I wasn't expecting, you know, how the people would turn up. But I could just stay there for 1 year. The place was packed. In 1 year, I had to move to a bigger location. So then I moved to a bigger location, which was, like, you know, 6,500 square feet plus. And then slowly, like, you know, the results, the hard work every day, came to a point where I could open another gym. Like, and that was, like, definitely something that I really wanted to for a very long time. A proper, a bigger space with, you know, top-notch equipments. Finally, I could do it. So, you know, that's how the journey has been. But one thing that I got back into, see, like, since 2011 till 2019, I didn't compete. But everything started because I was doing this competition, right? I wanted to be fit, and the bodybuilding itself motivated me. So I had to get back in bodybuilding as well because it was the right time. So from 2019, I got back in the international competition. Since I didn't participate in Bangladesh anymore because I was sponsoring here. I was sponsoring a lot of athletes. I have a lot of students, so I didn't want to compete with them anymore. And I was being a sponsor. You shouldn't be competing in the same competition. So I started taking part in the international one, and my first competition was in Asian Championship. It was in Harbin, China. Unfortunately, we had to miss out because of the certain time was being changed. And then the next competition was in Philippines. It was a pro qualifier, and I got a silver medal from that competition. And that was, like, something that motivated me to go pursue more competition. And I did competitions as well. In Sheru Classic, it was in India. It was a big one. And also in, you know, a few competitions in Bangkok.
What I'm getting from this is that you got really addicted to these competitions and to the joy it brought you to it. And even the other fitness after having, not that your mom shaming you, but after having a wake-up call.
Right.
After seeing how important it is to be physically active, and then taking a risk. You took a risk. You also had accountability. You became part of a group of people where you had to perform.
And see, like, it became an addiction because, you see, like, once you know how to change your own body, it's not easy, right? You gotta stick to. And so, can do it. It's easy. So, till now. Thank you.
Hello. Does the microphone keep going in and out? Okay. Okay, hi everybody. My name is Nazia Hassan. I'm a certified personal trainer. I'm a fitness trainer, and I've recently, over the last 2 years, become a group training expert. I've got 2 minutes to tell you a little bit about how I started my journey. For me, movement is essential. I believe that fitness is something that has saved me from a lot of the situations I've faced in my life. So it's not just about my self-improvement throughout the years that when I started out, it was basically early 2011. And when I was a kid, if I were to reflect back on when I was younger, I was always underweight. I was a tall, lanky girl in school who was always athletic, always on the sports team, performing well. But as a girl, I always felt out of place. I was strong, I was good at sports and I was good at what I did. But I felt always as a girl that I was always lacking something behind. Like I was not feminine enough. But, I kept at sports and my role model was my older brother. He's 6 years older than I am. So he's the one who introduced me into the world of sports. So growing up, feeling out of place, I've come to understand in the year 2010-11 when I started going to a gym that I'm actually good at what I do. And the fact that a woman is strong does not make her any less feminine. And ever since then, I feel like it has been a very long journey and I've been in transition. I've lived in Australia for a little bit part of my life, around 5 years. And I used to work, not in a bank, but I worked in finance during the week. And then I used to do part-time at a gym over there. And I used to work in their accounts. And I used to wait for the weekends. I used to wait to কবে Saturday, Sunday আসবে আমি জিমে যাব. Even though I was an accountant at the gym, I used to look at the trainers, what they did there. And that kind of like inspired me to take my fitness journey further and kind of inspired me to take my fitness journey to other people and maybe teach them a thing or two from myself. And being a woman from Bangladesh, it's not very common to see women at the gym. It's changing now. It has changed. And being at Dhaka Flow in the year 2023, I'm so glad that I'm here and I'm part of this movement. Like 10, 12 years ago, this was a dream of mine to see people from the same profession being united as one. So when I started out my journey, things were very different. And it's honestly been a pleasure to be able to be in this industry. And I've learned that in order to be fit, in order to understand wellness and fitness and make exercise a part of your life, it's hard to start alone, but if you can find the right community, you can continue your journey. And that's why I've transitioned online now. That's what my website is about. It's nas.fit. It's a startup. So we've just started out with programs for people who want to work out at home, people who are not confident enough to go to the gym yet. So it is for beginners. Once you start there, and then you can transition to some place like Ruslan's studio when you're confident enough. So I know as a beginner how hard it is for people to actually break through that ice. And I feel like that is my calling, to help people understand that you don't have to look or feel a certain way to start your fitness journey. You just have to start. You have to find the right trainer or go through a couple of trainers and find the right fit for you. And then you go from there. I'm also a mom. My son is 4.5. Having strength and fitness. I also like doing bodybuilding, which is why we're friends. Bodybuilding is not just for someone who wants to step on stage. It's also for someone who wants to feel confident in their skin, who wants to look good, change their body composition, and just gain confidence. It's such an important aspect of my life as well. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll keep it short and I'll pass it to Arafat.
Thank you, Nazia. So from what we're hearing here is that, I don't know if anyone's ever heard of the quote, you're the average of the 5 closest people you hang around with. Have you heard that before? So if you want to see how you are going to be in life, who are your 5 closest friends? Think about that. So if 5 of your closest friends happen to be fit, you're more likely to start being fit. If 5 of your closest friends love to party, you're going to be a party animal. If 5 of your closest friends are nerds, you're going to become a nerd. So also think about who you're hanging around with, because like she said, she kept putting herself in these circles of fitness, which is also very inspiring. So even if you're not inspired yet, or you don't feel confident to be into the world of fitness, put yourself out there and start making these fit friends, or just start putting yourself in circles where you can be exposed to anything related to fitness. So that's what I got from that. Thank you. And I'll bring it now to Mr. Arafat.
থ্যাংক ইউ। আমি বাংলায় বলতে আমাদের ইউনিভার্সিটি থেকে উপাচার্য স্যার একটা সিদ্ধান্ত নিলেন যে একটা টিম মাউন্ট এভারেস্টে পাঠাবে স্টুডেন্টদেরকে। তারপর আমি এনরোল করলাম। এনরোল করে ফার্স্ট ডেতে গিয়ে আমি জাস্ট স্যার থেকে শুনলাম যে আমাকে জিজ্ঞেস করলো তুমি ডিপার্টমেন্ট থেকে এসেছো, আমি বললাম মার্কেটিং ডিপার্টমেন্ট থেকে। তারপরে উনি আমাকে দেখে বললো যে মার্কেটিং ডিপার্টমেন্টের ছেলেরা একটু স্মার্ট হয়, কারণ স্পোর্টস করার জন্য যে ড্রেসে যেতে হয় আমি ওই ড্রেসই পরে যাই না, আমি একটা জিন্স প্যান্ট পরে চলে গেলাম। সো ওই দিন থেকে আমার মধ্যে একটা কি বলা যায় একটা ডিসিপ্লিন লাইফের উপর একটা ইন্টারেস্ট চলে আসে। তো আমি ট্রেনিং করতে থাকি প্রতিদিন, এভরিডে। আমাদের 6 AM ট্রেনিং শুরু হতো, আমি 5:50-তে চলে আসতাম। ট্রেনিং হতে হতে এরকম প্রায় 2 মাস অনেক কঠিন ট্রেনিং হলো। হওয়ার পরে আমাদের একটা টিমকে নেপাল পাঠাবে, হ্যাঁ 7 জনের একটা টিম হলো, সেখান থেকে 4 জনকে পাঠাবে নেপাল একটা ছোট্ট ট্রেকিংয়ে। তো আমাকে বললো যে তোমার পাসপোর্ট দাও। তো আমি আসলে তখন আমার পাসপোর্ট ছিল না, আমি বললাম যে স্যার আমার তো পাসপোর্ট নেই। তো শুধু পাসপোর্টের জন্য আমি আসলে এক্সপিডিশনটা মিস করলাম। মিস করার পরে আমি খুব ডিসহার্টেড হয়ে যাই। হ্যাঁ, এতদিন অনেক দিন কষ্ট করলাম, আমি যেতে পারলাম না। পরে আমার মধ্যে একটা রিয়েলাইজেশন আসলো, ওকে নো প্রবলেম, আমি নেক্সট টাইমের জন্য প্রিপেয়ার্ড থাকি। সো এতদিন আমি একটা গ্রুপ অফ পিপলের সাথে ট্রেনিং করতাম, বাট এরপর থেকে আমি মর্নিংয়ে একা একা ট্রেনিং করা শুরু করি। 3 কিলোমিটার, 5 কিলোমিটার, 10 কিলোমিটার করে রান করা শুরু করি। দেখা গেল এভরিডে এটা তখন আস্তে আস্তে আমি রিয়েলাইজ করা শুরু করলাম যে এভরি মর্নিং ইজ ডিফারেন্ট। প্রত্যেক দিনটা মনে হতো যে না, আমি কালকের থেকে আজকে বেটার, আজকে বেটার। সামডেজ একটু ডিফারেন্ট থাকতো, বাট এভরিডে মনে হতো যে একটা একটা ফিলিংস, যে সকালে ঘুম থেকে উঠে আমি আমার ট্রেনিংটা করতাম, করে এসে তারপর আমি আমার ক্লাস পড়তাম। এরপর থেকে আমি শুরু করলাম জাস্ট ইটস এ পার্ট অফ লাইফ, যে এই জার্নিটা চলতে থাকবে, এর মাঝখানে কি হবে সেটা আমি জানি না, বাট এটা আমি লাইফ টাইম ধরে করতে চাই। সো ইন বিটুইন আমি ম্যারাথন রান করা শুরু করলাম, তারপরে আমি ওপেন ওয়াটার সুইমিং শুরু করলাম, তারপর ট্রায়াথলন করলাম। এভাবে আস্তে 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 এখনও চলছে, এখনও অনেকগুলো ডে বাই ডে এভরিডে আমার কাছে মনে হয় যে প্রিভিয়াস ডেটের যে টাইমিংটা ছিল বা প্রিভিয়াস যে বেস্ট টাইমিংটা ছিল সেটা ব্রেক করা। সো এই ফিটনেস, আমি বলতে পারি না যে এটা ফিটনেস জার্নি, বাট আমি বলবো যে এটা ওয়ে অফ লাইফ, এটা স্পোর্টস লাইফ। এভরিডে এটা আমাকে বেস্ট ভার্সন করে, এভরিডে মনে হয় যে আমি ফিল করি যে আমি আগের দিন থেকে ভালো আছি। তো দ্যাটস হাউ স্যার। ওকে,
Thank you, Arafat. So I couldn't understand everything. I know he spoke about the journey, and I'm sure you all understood what he was saying. I'm going to move on to the next question, but just to comment quickly on Arafat, what he said about way of life. It definitely has to be a way of life because we're so busy every single day with so many things happening. So there has to be a method where you can incorporate somehow something related to fitness into your everyday life, because we're always traveling, we're always out at parties, we're always busy with work. You have to find a way to incorporate 30 minutes of movement in your day. Even if you want to go have drinks with your friends or have dinner at night, walk there. Or walk there, go have a yoga session, then go have dinner. So it's finding ways to incorporate any little thing related to fitness into your everyday life. Now, this will be a good transition to ask our fellow speakers secrets. I say quote unquote secrets because they shouldn't be secrets. But I would like to know 3 different secrets or tips. They can be random, that you live by, that has supported your fitness journey. And I can start by breaking the ice. One of my fitness secrets is, and I kind of mentioned it a few seconds ago, anytime I hang out with my friends, I try to make it related to fitness. So if my friends want to do anything, we have to start off by going to a yoga session or a dance class or boot camp, then we'll go have dinner. Or let's say I'm going to party tonight. Tomorrow, I make sure that we're going to organize a running session at 9 a.m. so that I'm not going to party so hard tonight. So it's constantly creating a system of accountability. You're accountable to who you're scheduling this session with. And also, like I said, finding ways every day to incorporate fitness. And it is feasible. So I'm going to start with Raslan, and then I'll move to Nadia and Arafat. 3 secrets.
There aren't any secrets, like, when it comes to my fitness. It's like, 3 things that I do. Like, I stick to the same food every day. simple. I don't like adding a lot of flavors to it. I keep it very simple, the way it is. And the reason I do that is that you see, like if you keep on changing your food, it's very difficult for you to track the changes. And for me, when I'm working with someone, even when it comes to me, I would like to see certain changes in certain period of time. We have a time frame. It's not like, I just can't call it like, it's a lifestyle. After 1 year, 2 year, I'm going to be like that. But see, whoever comes to me, they would want to see, they want to see themselves in 3 months' time they transform. And same goes with me when I'm doing a competition, like, and I have a certain time frame. I have to get ready on that particular day. So for that, you gotta stick to the same food every day. So it's easy to track. If something is going wrong, you can change the food. You can have a closer look at your gut health as well, which is very important. A lot of people misses out, like, your gut is the most important part. Because if your gut is not working properly, nothing will. Your head will not work, your brain will not function properly, so many other things. That's one thing. And no matter whenever, even when I'm traveling, see, like if I'm out on a vacation, I'll tell myself, okay, it's a vacation from work, but not from the lifestyle. So I'll stick to my same food when I'm traveling.
Not a vacation from your health.
Right, absolutely. So I'll try to find a gym there. I'll try to work out, getting some workout, and also I'll try to stick to my same food that I've been eating here. I'll do some of the groceries out there from the shopping mall or shopping store, like, Well, you get food ready in there. If not, ready meals, you can just, the boiled food is available there. Well, healthy stuff, I never think anything is healthy. The moment you add so many sauce, it's just a caption. You'll see in the shopping store, like it's written healthy, it's termed healthy.
General people who go on vacation.
Well, general people, they should stick to certain things. They shouldn't overboard on certain things because they won't be able to enjoy, right? 1 or 2 meal here and there, it's okay. But they should stick to it. But definitely there is one day of the week where I'll be eating a lot of food. Probably if I have those days, even when I'm traveling, I would find the best food that I'm looking for, I'm craving, I would eat. So that's how I keep the balance. So I balance it out like that. So these are the simple things.
One thing that you said that I do is keeping your breakfast, for example, simple. And it's a bit also related to a lot, I don't know if you've heard of this, but a lot of famous people, sometimes they wear the same outfits every day. Steve Jobs and Obama did this. They would actually wear the same clothing, the same turtlenecks or the same shirts every day. Why did they do that? Because it's been shown that when you have so many decisions you have to make, you kind of get paralyzed and you're also less motivated to go on this journey. So just like with your fashion, when you simplify what you're wearing, it's easier to go on with your day. When you simplify what to eat, it's easy to stick to it. But if every day you're picking a very complicated menu, it does kind of turn you off or put you off. And one more thing that I want to highlight that you said was that though you go on vacation, you don't take a vacation from your health. Fine, you want to disconnect from the world, you want to do something different, but you should never take a vacation from taking care of your body. And it doesn't have to be in a gym. You can do hiking with your friends, you can do swimming, you can walk around instead of using the subway. There's so many ways to have a good vacation while also staying fit. So those are really good points. Thank you. Now I'm going to move to Nadia.
So just like Ruslan, I don't have secrets either. I know when people think about fitness, health, and losing weight or fat, they think that there are some shortcuts or some unknown truths, or there's like some recipe that we don't know about, some formula. There's nothing like that. Fitness is not rocket science. It is very simple. It comes down to whether or not you are moving every day. It comes down to what you're eating every day. So my biggest secret is, if you want to call it a secret, it's consistency. It's sticking to a routine. And even though some of my friends and my family might think I'm boring, like I'll go to dawats and events and I'll go after I have my dinner. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with people calling me boring or calling me out for not going out or not having like a social life like everyone else. For me, I prioritize my health and well-being first.
I don't want to punish them, so I'll take the lift with them. But usually when I'm alone or if I'm going to a restaurant, I take the stairs. And there's a documentary that I was watching last month. It's called Living to 100. It's about the blue zones. It's a really good documentary. It's on Netflix. It's called Living to 100. It talks about certain communities around the world and they live near water, and they live beyond 100 years old. And one of the reasons, one of the things they found in the research about living beyond 100 was they found a correlation between how steep a village is and how long they can live. So let's say you go in a town in Italy, in Sardinia, the villages are very steep. Like it's curvy and there's little hills. And they found that so many people were living beyond 100 because they were forced to move all the time, going up and down, side and side. They weren't in cars, they weren't on scooters, they were just constantly moving. You have like a cute little old 9-year-old man who can move better than myself because I have a car. I don't move a lot, not me specifically, but in general. So there's these little things that you can do every day that will help you live far beyond what you could ever expect. So do watch that documentary, just remember it, living to 100. Now we'll leave it to Arafat to give us some secrets that might not be so secretive.
No, I don't have so many secrets. So most of the time, people ask me how I manage time, because for triathlon, it needs a lot of time for training. So what I do normally, I use my cycle to go to my office. Sometimes I come back by run. Sometimes I take maybe sometimes I need to travel to outside of Dhaka. So I send my family with car and I take my bike. So I ride.
How many kilometers?
Last week I went to my home. It's 180 kilometers from Dhaka. So it's so the thing is, I normally in Dhaka I cannot train actually. For long ride I had to go to outside of Dhaka. So most of the time I travel to Dhaka to Sylhet, Dhaka to some other city. So it's a good option to for long ride. So what I do, my secret is, first secret is matched with Naziapu. It's consistency, and second is I don't excuse in any situation. I just want to focus. There is always another way. That's it, actually.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I have a question for you. How many times have you crossed the Bangla Channel?
9 times.
So I sometimes swim at the American Club. I don't know if you've seen how big or small the pool is. Huh? And I can do like maybe 2 laps without running out of breath. What do you call it? What's the length of distance?
16.1 kilometers from Teknaf to Saint Martin. Just aerial distance is 16 kilometers. When we swim, it could be 18 or 20 kilometers maybe.
So how long does it take you?
It normally take 4 hours and 30 minutes.
4 hours.
Average time.
Like in between when you're swimming, do you feel like you're dying or are you enjoying yourself?
It's actually I suffer at the end. Like I see the Saint Martin Island, but I feel okay. It take maybe 10 minutes, but 1 hour, 2 hour, no. I keep going, so it's boring. Like I am swimming at the same place for a long time.
But you can see the island. I've always wanted to ask you this, so thank you for sharing that.
That's brilliant. Thank you, Arafat. And I actually want to comment on something he said, where we'll give him a hand clap for all of your secrets, but especially Mr. Ironman. When it comes to your body, and when you listen to your body, and you're doing a move or you're swimming, there's a quote and there's a saying that says that when you think you've reached 100%, you've only reached 40% of what your body can do. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of that, but when you feel like, yeah, it's that's it, I can't do anymore, remember that no, you actually have about 60% left. So keep that in mind, and your mind is so much stronger than the matter, your body. They say mind over matter. There's a reason why they say that. Your mind is so much stronger. Even when Arafat wants to give up, he's like, no, I gotta keep going. Even when his body is failing him, the mind takes over. Or you say will over skill. Will meaning your willpower. Will trump skill. If you have the willpower, because you can be the most skilled person, but if you don't have the discipline and you don't have the consistency in mind, you won't be able to achieve anything. So it's, remember that quote, when you want to give up, you have actually so much more that your body can achieve. And you had mentioned about how he will cycle to the village. Now, I don't know if you all can do that. It might be a bit more difficult, but if you can walk to work, if you work in a place that's close, or cycle somewhere that is more close to proximity of where you're trying to go. But it's these little changes. It's nothing life-changing. It's these little changes that you do every single day that will really make a difference in your life. So like you said, it's not really a secret, but it may sound like a secret because we don't talk about it enough. I might ask one or two questions and we're almost done. Now, nutrition plays a huge part into our fitness journey because, you know, they say, you've heard the quote, abs are made in the kitchen. Have you heard that quote before? Because you can literally spend all day, every day in the gym and working out, but your body, you won't see much of a change sometimes. Maybe your muscles may feel stronger, but you might not be achieving the goal of getting leaner because a lot of it actually comes from the kitchen. It's about what you feed your body, what is entering that temple of yours. So I think it would be really good to talk about how you mix fitness with your nutrition.
Thank you. To me, nutrition is almost like 70% of what I do when it comes to my fitness. I think without a proper nutrition plan, and if you don't have a customized plan for yourself, because we all are different, we all have different activities going on a different days. So, and the goals are different too of each and other individual. So a solid nutrition plan is very important when it comes to your fitness journey, right? A lot of people I would see come to the gym and they would think, okay, if I'm working hard in the gym, I would see the results. But you see, like over and over, I see the same person coming to the gym, they look exactly the same that they joined. Yes, definitely they're healthier. When you're working out, you're much healthier than the people who are not moving at all. Definitely, I don't want to take anything away from them. But the changes, it's never going to happen. It's not going to happen unless you are a genetically gifted person who gets away eating anything, but still in long run they'll have problem. You see, like a person who becomes fat when they're eating more food, but I think nothing is wrong with their body, but they'll complain, my metabolism is slow, my this and that, I've got thyroid issues and whatnot. But you see, their body is perfectly fine. And the reason behind is that their body is giving them a signal that something is wrong with their body, they need to stop overeating, right? A lot of times what happens is that people who are lean, they'll be eating a lot of food, they'll not gain the weight because they have a very high metabolism. But when they'll do their blood work, you'll see they have a very high blood sugar level, cholesterol is like, skyrocketing, fatty liver and whatnot. So you see, like these are the main reason, like, even if your appearance is fine, if you look all right, a solid nutrition plan is there, because without eating the right food, you will never see the results. And one other thing that I really want to mention, like when you have a disease or when you're going to a doctor has prescribed you certain medicine, right? So why? Because you need to get well as soon as possible or else you're going to die. So when you're going to a gym or when you're starting a fitness journey, when you're unwell, when you have to get rid of certain diseases, you can't.
Diet culture niye kotha bolbo. A lot of us here might be on the way that we want to lose weight, we want to look a certain way. So I think most of us think that if we eat less, we can lose more weight. That is entirely wrong. Like, diet culture is something that you need to get your mindset out of. It's important to know what you're eating. Like I feel like having that self-awareness of what's on your plate, like in terms of carbohydrate, protein, your macros. I know it sounds like scientific. It shouldn't. Like it's basic knowledge. It's available on the internet. You should know how many calories that you need to eat. You should be putting in the work into tracking je tumi kototuk protein khele tomar result kerokom hobe. It shouldn't be something that you think of, oh, this is too much work. It's not work. It's work that you're doing for yourself. Like, you wake up every day, you go to work, or you run your own business because you earn money from it, right? That's your living. But if you don't put the same effort into what you put on your plate, then you pay with it in the later terms of your life. You're paying with it. You're living less. You're having diseases. You're developing like a lot of things that you could do without. So it's important to understand what you're eating and what's on your plate. Instead of relying on somebody else to do it, you need to do your own research. Like, I didn't start out with a nutritional like certification from birth. I learned about it, I studied, and then I got certified. But I started with the idea that I want to know about this. I need to know how this affects me. So it's just having the self-realization of what to do. That's really important. And once you can learn the fundamentals of that, you will realize that you don't have to eat less. You just have to eat more of the right food. You have to eat more whole foods and less processed foods. And I think that's the best thing you can do for yourself. Like diet, your nutrition plan does not need to starve you. In fact, I have to eat about 2,500 calories a day. That's a lot of food. Sometimes I can't meet the calories because it's high in volume. How is it high in volume? It comes from whole foods. It doesn't come from burgers and pizzas. So when you're having whole foods, you can eat a lot of calories and get good results out of it.
And it'll impact your organs. That's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking about. I'm like,
Yeah.
whatever I'm eating, how is it helping my liver? What is it doing
Yeah.
to my heart? What is it doing to my
Absolutely.
blood? That's what I think about. I think about my organs. I don't think about just how I look.
Yeah.
I think about what's happening inside.
And also I feel that some of us, while we're on track, if you slip up once or twice, that's okay. You don't have to like you don't have to abandon your goals.
On Monday.
Yeah, you can just go back to it right after. So that's important to remember. Not to feel guilty about slipping up. You can slip up. We're human beings. We make mistakes, and you learn from it. There's no need to punish yourself for it. You know, you can always go back to your fitness journey. It'll stay there for you. It's not going anywhere. Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
নিউট্রিশনটা হচ্ছে আমার জন্য আসলে 4 ডিসিপ্লিন, সুইমিং, সাইক্লিং, রানিং। যেরকম আমার 3টা ট্রেনিং করতে হয়, সো নিউট্রিশন নিয়ে আমার চিন্তা করতে হয়, সেম প্রায়োরিটি। সো ফার্স্ট অফ অল নাজিয়া আপু একটা কথা বললো যে আমরা কতটুকু খাচ্ছি, আমাদের অ্যামাউন্টটা জানা দরকার আসলে। সো আমি যেটা ক্যালকুলেট করি, আমি উইকলি অ্যারাউন্ড আমার 24,000 ক্যালোরি বার্ন হয়। সো আমাকে এই 24,000 ক্যালোরিকে 24,000 অনুযায়ী আমি কার্ব, প্রোটিন অ্যান্ড আদার যা যা লাগবে আমি সেট করে নিই। সো বেসিক থিং যেটা করি যে বাইরের রেস্টুরেন্ট বা বাইরের খাবার অ্যাভয়েড করার ট্রাই করি, বাট সামটাইমস অ্যাভয়েড করা যায় না। আর হচ্ছে হোমমেড, বিশেষ করে আমি বাসার ফুড খাই। আমার মিট কম খাই, মান্থলি হয়তো ওয়ান্স অর 2। আর হচ্ছে ভেজিটেবল, ফিশ, হ্যাঁ। সো এইগুলো দিয়ে একদম সিম্পল ওয়েতে জাস্ট আপনি গুগল করলেই দেখতে পারবেন যে 100 গ্রাম ফিশের মধ্যে কতটুকু প্রোটিন আছে। ইটস ভেরি সিম্পল, মানে এটা খুব কঠিন ব্যাপার না। সো একদিনেরটা করলে আপনি উইকলিটা করতে পারবেন, মান্থলি করতে পারবেন। সো ইজি। তো আমি নর্মালি হয়তো একটু এদিক সেদিক হতে পারে, বাট আমি একটা নিজে ক্যালকুলেশন করে নিলাম যে আমি 100 গ্রাম যদি ফিশ খাই আমার কতটুকু প্রোটিন পাচ্ছি, কতটুকু কার্ব পাচ্ছি। সো আমি এইভাবে আমার নিউট্রিশন প্ল্যানটা করে নিই। সো দ্যাটস ইট। প্লিজ।
আপনি যখন কত কিলোমিটার যে করলেন, আপনি কত কিলোমিটার আপনি ওই যে রান করলেন, রাইট? 1000 কিলোমিটার। ওইটার আগে ডায়েটটা কি ডিফারেন্ট ছিল না? বিকজ 1000 কিলোমিটার আমি তো 10,000 ক্যালোরি খেতাম।
আসলে 1000 কিলোমিটার আমি যখন রান করছি তখন আমার রানিং নিয়ে, নিউট্রিশন নিয়ে আমার এগুলা তেমন কিছুই জানতাম না। সো আই মেড লট অফ মিস্টেক্স, লট অফ এগুলা সব বলতে পারেন যে ট্রায়াল এরর বেসিসে আমি জানতে পারছি। ওই সময় পুরো সময়টা আমার সাথে একজন ফুল টাইম কুক ছিল, উনি নিজে রান্না করে দিত। হ্যাঁ, ভাত, তারপরে ভেজিটেবলস, ফিশ, দ্যাটস ইট। হ্যাঁ, ডাল, নর্মাল। হ্যাঁ, হোল ফুড, ইয়া। Yeah, please. Yeah. হ্যাঁ, রেস্কিউ টিম ছিল। না, তখন প্রফেশনাল না, মানে তখন অত ভালো সুইমার না। স্রোত ছিল, বাট নর্মালি যমুনা নদীতে আমি যখন সাঁতার কাটছিলাম তখন ধরেন নর্থ থেকে সাউথের দিকে স্রোতটা যাচ্ছে। তা নর্মালি আমি এখানে নামলে ওই জায়গায় উঠবো এটা ধরেই সাঁতার কাটতেছিলাম, জাস্ট স্রোতকে ক্রস করে যাচ্ছিলাম। Yeah.
Thank you, Arafat. Now we're actually gonna. This has been so good. Lots of food for thought. I don't know if you've taken anything that resonates with you, but I'd like to now open it up. We have a few minutes left. I'd like to open it up to the audience. If you'd like to ask any specific questions to Ruslan, Nazia, or Arafat, if you have any questions, please feel free. lots of inspiring stories that they have to share. Any questions? Everything's clear? You're ready to go on your fitness journey? Yeah? Question, please.
Check, check. All right. I will sit here. One of my ears are not working anymore. That's okay. Thank you so much for doing this. First of all, wow, it's not back yet. So today I did a 5K run, which was, I've been told it was 20 minutes long, but I took 20 minutes. But I don't know if that's true. I don't know why they're laughing. I don't know them. So what I'd like to know is, so I kept running all throughout. But there were moments where my legs were giving out. My mind was like, I can stop. No one's seeing me. No one will know, but I will know. So what I want to know is, like, you said something about mind over matter, and so I want to know what keeps you going. What makes you. Sometimes it's easy. Sometimes you're just having a bad day. Sorry. Sometimes you're just having a terrible day, and you're like, I'm just gonna stay in. So what I do is I remind myself that this is going to get normalized, and I'll stay in more and more, and I'm going to slip back. So I want to know, how do you guys stay at it? Even when you're perfectly fit, you'll get back at it, but how do you keep at it and stay the way you guys are?
Thank you, really good question.
That's a very good question. I missed your name. Okay, hi, nice to meet you. So there are days when I'm sure Ruslan and Arafat can resonate with this as well. We wake up, right, every single morning, and there will be days where you don't feel like doing anything. I know that because we all have personal lives, and there's different things happening with everyone on different days. But it's just having that. I always tell myself that if I'm going to go to the gym today, or I'm going to go outdoors and do my run today, I'll just go, and if I don't feel good, I'll come back. But generally what happens is 10 to 15 minutes into my sessions, once I start feeling good, and then I just keep going. I just think just having that awareness and just telling yourself over and over again, you know what, if I feel bad, I'm gonna do it, but if I don't feel good, throughout the way, I'll just stop. And what happens is once you start the movement, once you start moving your body, generally, you don't want to stop because you feel good. All the hormones start kicking in, your endorphins, your serotonin, and you just keep going. I think that's really important. Just starting, just counting back to 1, 5. You think with your frontal cortex, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I just jump out of bed. Just a routine. I'm just gonna brush my teeth, put on my clothes. Not feeling it, I'm still gonna drink my morning coffee. Not feeling it, I'll still walk out the door, and just get to where I need to be, and then just let the day decide for me.
And something to add to that. Thank you. Has anyone read the book Atomic Habits? Okay, so if you read that book, part of the gives you how to maintain a habit. And part of these tips was to create an environment that will help you succeed. So, for example, with your question, creating an environment to push you to go out of bed and work out, part of that environment is the night before, you put out your shoes, you have your workout outfit, it's there. Okay, so that's one thing. Number 2, you actually call your friend. You're like, hey, let's go tomorrow at 9 a.m. and do the run. Now you're accountable. You don't want to be a flopper. You don't want to flake. So that's another thing. Number 3, for me, I'm a big foodie. I love chocolate. I love dessert. I don't bring that to the home. I'm creating an environment that will help me out. If I'm bringing that dessert in my house, willpower is also not a real thing. It's so hard to have willpower. So why add more challenges? Don't bring in things that will tempt you. So building those little habits will really help you continue. But like you said, also mentally, Nazia touched on it. So once you discover the feeling of working out and how good it feels, you become addicted to it. So the more you keep doing these runs, the more you keep sweating in the gym and it hurts, but when you leave, you're like, that felt great. That's what you start remembering more and more and more. After doing an hour or 2 session long of working out, I'm in so much pain, but I know that I will feel so good afterwards that I will do it no matter what. So the more you do it, the more you're able to remember these feelings, and it'll push you to keep going.
And I feel like that translates into other aspects of your life, not just your workout. It affects your daily tasks. Once you're able to do something really difficult and you get through with it, it just for me at least, it translates to the other parts of my life, which is motherhood, my business, everything else that comes with it.
Yeah, you're just more alive.
Yeah.
The funny example, partying. I can party all night if I wanted to because I'm taking.
I was kept on bugging you guys. You are all very disciplined. You know, you have that self-discipline. But for people who don't have the self-discipline, I just want to share something, and that is that we all each have our own thresholds, our individual thresholds. To form a good habit, it's as simple as just waking up within 3 minutes. If you wake up after 3 minutes, you won't do what you want to do. So and if you tell your body, and you can practice this at home, that you'll wake up today, no matter what time you go to bed, that you'll wake up today at next day at 5 a.m. You don't need an alarm clock. Your body will wake you. That's how powerful your mind, your body is. And we have to believe that we have that within us. If you have that, you can achieve anything. Okay?
Arts like you. তো যেটা আমি বলতে চাই, দেখেন আমি অ্যারাউন্ড 60 ইয়ার্স, হ্যাঁ, সো আই এম 57। তো আপনি যে মানে এখন এই বয়সে আমি যে জিম তো করতে পারবো না, ট্রেডমিল, কারণ আমি ওই রাস্তায় হাঁটতে যেই ওই আমার পা 2বার ভেঙেছি, পায়ের পাতা, যেহেতু যে দেখেন না গাছের পাশে টাইলস থাকে না, ওখানে একদম জায়গা মতো করে এক ফকির আমার গায়ে চলে আসছিল, তো আমি একদম উল্টায় পড়ে পা ভাঙছি 2বার। তো এটাও একটা সমস্যা আপনাকে পার্কের কাছে। তখন আমি রোজ অ্যাটলিস্ট 6 দিন চেষ্টা করি, আমি 6 মাইলস হাঁটি এভরিডে। আমার এখন পর্যন্ত ডায়াবেটিস নাই, প্রেশার নাই, বা যাই হোক আমার থাইরয়েডের প্রবলেম আছে। লাস্ট 2 মান্থস বা 3 মান্থস আমি ডক্টরের সাজেশনে আমি যোগা করতে শুরু করলাম, তো আমার থাইরয়েডটা অনেক বেটার হয়েছে। যেটা আপনারা যে ওয়ার্কআউটের কথা বলছেন, বা আমি যেরকম আপনাকে ইসলাম সাহেবকে অনেক ভালো করে চিনি, কারণ উনি তো বাঁধনকে একদম ফিট করে উনি একদম এখন আমাদের সেলিব্রিটি। তো আমি এটাই বলতে চাচ্ছি যে আপনাদের কি সাজেশন, যেরকম ধরেন আমি এখন চাইলে কার্ব বাদ দিতে পারবো না, হ্যাঁ, যেরকম আমি ওরকম নিউট্রিশন, যেরকম আমাকে বললো আপনি লাল চালের ভাত খান, হ্যাঁ, তো আমি এখন ওই যেসব কোম্পানি আছে, আমি মাল্টি ন্যাশনাল, ওদের আমি ট্রাস্ট করি না, আমার ট্রাস্ট ইস্যুস আছে, আমি খাবো না ওদের চাল, হ্যাঁ। তো ধরেন আমি এখন খুঁজি কোথায় পাই, গ্রামে যাই, এখান থেকে আনি, ওখান থেকে আনা। মানে আমার যেটা প্রশ্ন আপনাদের কাছে, যে ধরেন আমার মতো বয়সী যারা, হ্যাঁ, মানে তাদের ফুডটা কেমন হওয়া উচিত? আমি কার্বস বাদ দিতে পারবো না, আমি শুধু প্রোটিন খেতে পারবো না, আমি প্রোটিন খেলে বেশি সারাক্ষণ আমার কিডনি নষ্ট হয়ে যাবে, বা আমি অনেক কার্বস খেতে পারবো না। তো আমি যেটা আপনাদের কাছে বলতে চাই যে শুধু ইয়াং পিপলদের জন্য না, মানে আমাদের জন্য ওয়ার্কআউট প্ল্যানটা কী হওয়া উচিত? হাঁটার সাথে আমার এই বয়সে বডি স্ট্রেচ করতে হবে, তাই না? নাহলে এটা আমি জানতে চাই, শুধু ইয়াং লোকদের জন্য না, আমাদের মতো যারা বয়স্ক আছে তাদের জন্য আপনাদের কী প্ল্যান?
Someone who's older. Very recently, so my father's almost 70 years old, and he served in Biman all his life, right? So he's had a very active life. But very recently, depression has hit him, and it's been a couple years where he does not go past his living room to his bedroom. And in terms of that, he's had a frozen shoulder. For the last couple of months, he's been really suffering. So for someone like him, even though I do fitness for a living, I teach it for a living, I was not being able to create a plan for him that he could follow through. Then what really helped him to get out of the house is I got him a pair of walking shoes. And he doesn't come to the park. He's someone who's not going to leave the house. So basha theke ber hobe na. So she এখন ছাদে যায়, and he walks on the roof. And while a lot of us might think that walking is হেঁটে কি হবে, it's just moving your body. And it doesn't matter what age group you're in, it's just having movement in your life. Like you started yoga recently, which is an amazing way to move your body. So you don't have to go to the gym and lift weights to transform yourself like a celebrity. All you need is movement in your life. You don't need to eat a lot of protein. You don't have to give up carbohydrates. You just need to do everything in moderation and live a good, healthy, prolonged life without disease. That should be the goal. Not to look like a celebrity. We all look like ourselves.